So far, it may seem that adjustment layers and layer masks have no downsides, but before you tack on 15 layers to an image, you should be aware that layers and masks significantly increase file size. Here's a way to get similar results without the bloated file size. The history brush, in conjunction with snapshots, allows us to make selective changes to an image. Let's go to our Chapter 5 folder and open up the file titled History. Now what we need to do is show the History panel. We'll go to Window and simply select History. Right now it's grouped with Mini Bridge, which we'll talk about in an upcoming chapter, so for now let's just get rid of it. I'm going to expand the History panel, and I'm going to dock it right beneath our Adjustments panel. The History panel keeps track of the changes you make to an image, allowing you to quickly revert to an earlier image state. Photoshop, by default, limits you to 20 history states at any given time. You can increase this number in preferences, but adding more history states uses up more memory. Snapshots allow you to create temporary copies of an image state that will reside at the top of the History panel, even if its corresponding history state has been recycled. In this image, I'm going to change the color of 2 of the outfits. To do that, I'm going to go to the Image menu, Adjustments, and select Hue Saturation. Here I'll take the hue and I'll drag it over to the right to turn this outfit into a nice light purple. I'll hit OK. Now what I want to do is add a snapshot. You'll notice that at the very top of the History panel, we've already got one snapshot that simply has the name of the image file. By default, Photoshop adds an initial snapshot every time you open an image. We can add a snapshot by clicking on this camera icon at the bottom. I'm going to hold down the Option key on the Mac, Alt key on the PC to allow me to name the snapshot while I'm adding it. I'll call this one Purple. Now I'm going to revert back to our original image state by clicking this initial snapshot. I'm going to select the Hue Saturation tool again, Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and now I'm going to change that outfit to a nice bright green. We'll hit OK. I'm going to make another snapshot, holding down the Option key on the Mac, Alt key on the PC. I'm going to name this one Green. Now in the Tool panel, I'm going to select the History brush. That's located directly beneath the regular brush tool. You can see it's a brush icon with a curved arrow. I'm going to go up to the Options bar and make sure that my hardness is set to 0. I want a nice soft feathering for this brush. And in our History panel, we have 3 snapshots. I'm going to revert back to our initial snapshot, and I'm going to set the source of the History brush to our second snapshot titled Purple. I'll set the source simply by clicking in this box. Now I'm going to paint on the image. I'll make my brush a little bit larger. And I am painting from the snapshot. So you'll see that this outfit is now becoming purple. It's picking up the state of the image document from the point at which I created that snapshot. And there we go. I'll just get a little bit on the upper left shoulder. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to set the source of my History brush to the green snapshot. And this will allow me to paint on the second outfit a completely different color. Now you can see I had a little bit of spill over here on this mannequin at the far left. To get rid of that, I'm going to set the source from my History brush back to our initial snapshot, and I'm simply going to paint that back out. That's all there is to it. Let's go back to our initial image by clicking on the initial snapshot. and compare that with our final result by clicking on our final history state. I should point out that when you save and close this file, both your history states and your snapshots will be completely wiped out. So these features only work within a given work session.